Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. My name is Josh. Today we'll be talking about Chainlink and its AI-based forecast as well as its comprehensive analysis on several key potential analytical-based indicators such as its crypto retirer, that is its potential as a retirement vehicle, its undervaluation, overvaluation discernment using MVRV approach, and its HeatBands, which is a polynomial regression-based analysis of how their Chainlink could either peak or bottom in the coming days. So let's start with our overall crypto market update. This is the crypto TLDR, last 24 hours worth of news articles scraped by our machine learning based model and classified into if they are bullish, bearish, or neutral. So most of them are bullish, such as Bitcoin sold at last halving, that is it in 2020 at around 8k. Now it has soared up in that after that halving at around 700%. This halving which occurred yesterday, Bitcoin's price was around 63,000. So let's say if, after diminishing returns, what could be its peak in the coming days. So you can scroll for and hover on each of the narrative and look at how it is bullish or bearish per your own analysis. You can use the link on the bottom of your screen. This is the website cryptoweeklies.com. So next is the peak and valley analyzer, which is the peaks are over here when the risk is high. It's a composite risk score on y-axis between 0 and 0.7 right now. And the peaks essentially mean that we are having a larger risk and lower return trade-off, whereas the valleys over here, the risk is pretty low and potential for returns is potentially high. This is not financial advice, but you can see that so far, at least, if you are aware of the last bear market, there were two distinct places when the market kind of bottomed. One was July, and our model flashed green over here also during November, during FTX collapse, November December of 2022. That's when the entire month the risk score for our model was low. Even in as late as August of 2023 till October rally really took off. The risk analyzer which we have built in house, on trained on several metrics such as volatility, alpha, beta, risk adjusted returns, and percent drawdown. And that currently it is flashing a story starting end of March. The risk score was at around 0.35. Now it's slightly over 0.25. So that means that the risk per our analysis of top 100 cryptos by market cap and the KPIs that we just discussed, those metrics on analyzing that risk over the last 20 days, the risk has gone down by quite a bit over the last 20 days, and that's something that we will monitor every single day. This risk analyzer is updated in every 24 hours, just like the crypto TLDR. Looking at the overall individual risk score normalized between 0 and 1, you can see Bitcoin's current over the last 24 hours, the risk score has gone down from 0.495 to 0.49. ETH is slightly up at 0.6 risk. The higher the score, that means the closer the crypto is on its topping, as well as on its risk journey. The higher risk means that the potential for rewards are less and risks are more. So let's look at our token for the day, Link, and it analyze its own risk and its return potential. So you can, if you find it hard to find, you can always do a Command F or Control F based on your operating system, and then look at the findings using Command or Control F to search for the relevant crypto. So for Link, the risk is slightly above 0.54. That means it is less risky than most of the altcoins over here per our model, but not as low risk as Bitcoin, definitely, because Bitcoin has been around the most, as well as analyzing on several KPIs that we just discussed. Bitcoin has had a better growth over the last 2.5 years. So that is where Link is currently. Definitely a token to watch. per our risk model. So before we focus exclusively on Link, we'll go ahead and with our narrative wall. This is last 7 days worth of popular narrative in crypto market. Highest frequency narratives have the most size on this narrative wall or narrative cloud. You can see altcoins, the size for this altcoin narrative is gaining, bullishness is gaining. Halving over the last 7 days was a popular narrative. Bitcoin is still the most popular narrative. You can see one good thing to see is if the token that you want to analyze, if it's always a good idea to see if that token has some popularity and has some presence on this wall. That means at least there is some discussion going on. This is the data is scraped out of YouTube and X. So and it's a comparative an analyzer, so that where we can see that over here Chainlink does feature on this list, but it is not as popular as Bitcoin. That means there is some content related to Chainlink being discussed, but not as much as Bitcoin has been discussed over the last 7 days. But again, as I mentioned earlier, mere presence on this narrative cloud speaks volume for that particular crypto, such as even Solana is over here. You can see over the last 7 days, Cardano has gained a lot of size. You can do a comparison of the size of this word as opposed to Solana or even Chainlink over here. Even Ethereum is somewhere on the wall. You will be able to find over here. You can see that, and this also helps looking at some of the industry-based narratives such as gaming, if it's being discussed, or let's say if there is another narrative such as war over here that is also coming up, being discussed a lot in tandem with crypto over the last 7 days. So now let's focus exclusively on Link. We'll start with our AI based forecast that we had created a while ago when Link was pumping early February of 2024. That is almost 2 months, little over 2 months old. And we'll present what we had thought would happen to Link between February to December. Price action, the bull case forecasted by our AI models trained on weekly price action of Links starting 2017, week by week data, and then using the output of AI model to, with one standard deviation confidence level, first look at what is the trend line, which is the line in middle, that is the base case forecast, and then wrap one standard deviation level confidence on it to either side. That means covers about 70% of the price action potentially, and that zone is the green zone is the bull zone, which is one standard deviation to the upside. Yellow zone is one standard deviation to the downside. Our base case model for Link back in early February when the price was at around $18, the base case was between $18 and $26. Right now, if you check, this is coin market cap Link, it is currently traded at around $14.27. So slightly below our base case scenario forecasted. But again, the beauty of this model is not only considers the base case, but also if the tokens are in pullback, like crypto has been in pullback territory for the last 2.5 weeks, you can see what is the theoretical floor. And per our model, the theoretical floor that we had forecasted 2 months ago for this week was at around $13.17, and this is currently held nicely. It doesn't mean that it will always be held in the future, but again, this is the idea is 70% confidence, and so far as long as there is no extreme move to the upside and downside, this is a good guideline. It has helped me personally, and extending this guideline till about December, the bear case is still $10. If the market stays consistently bearish, and the bull case is, now that we are in April, is between $27 and $56 for Link till end of year 2024. Looking at its potential as a retirement vehicle, this is the crypto retirer that we have come up with. This is a CAGR based model, which is a compound annualized growth rate. We look at three scenarios for Link. The conservative case, which is hypothesizing that Link will grow only at 8%, which is similar to a stock market index growth rate such as S&P, which grew at about between 8 and 10% of the last decade. So if we apply that lens to Link, which is an altcoin, that would be extra conservative, because if the stock market is giving you 10%, what are you doing trading altcoin which is giving you less than 8% returns with so much more risk? So applying that lens might be beneficial, especially if we are considering that the growth in stock market would be diminished if potentially we encounter a recession between now and end of year 2040. Usually recessions cause a decline in stock market growth, but in that case also, when the recovery eventually happens, the higher risk plays such as altcoins tend to have a better growth than lower risk stocks. So in that model that we had trained for the next 15 years, if let's say Link attempts to grow by 8%, the USD valuation for Link per hour model would be, now it is at $14. At 8% consistent growth, Link would be at around $45 in 2040, and the number of Link tokens needed to retire as a millionaire right now is around 70,000 Link tokens. If you believe that you don't want to be a Link millionaire, but you want to only have about 100,000 in Link, because you believe that it's very risky to be so invested in one altcoin, then I would suggest, not financial advice, is divide this number by 10. So instead of 1 million, it becomes 100,000. So that for reaching 100,000 worth of Link today, you'd need about 7,000 Link tokens. But the beauty is of the exponential growth of CAGR model is what is today 70,000 would be at around 22,000 in 2040, and that would and if you are targeting 100k, that would be around 2,000 Link tokens as of today. And this all models are done without staking, and Link is a staking related crypto. I know the stake pool is full right now. If you are not in the stake pool, you need to check up their updates if and when they release more pools for staking. The realistic case is the 15% compound annualized growth rate. This is 1/3 of what Bitcoin did over the last 10 years. Bitcoin grew by about 45%. If we say that Link will grow 1/3 of Bitcoin's growth rate over the last 10 years, that would be still considered conservative enough and not a hopium or extra optimistic forecast. If Link manages to stay relevant, and there are a lot of sentiment associated with Link's narratives such as CCIP protocol, as well as a lot of tokenization, real world utility and real world asset tokenized into or with help of oracles such as Link, which is definitely the leader in that niche. And if those narratives pan out, a 15% CAGR would still be considered conservative enough. But regardless, we'll call it a realistic scenario, because we are considering year over year consistent 15%, and you know that crypto does dump by about 70-80% in the bear market. So again, we don't consider the extreme bulls, we don't consider the extreme bear phases, we are just drawing a line in the middle. So in that approach, Link at 15% CAGR, what is now $14, at that CAGR would be at around 115 USD in 2040. And if you think that your timeline is not 2040, the beauty of this chart is that it tells you year by year. So if you plan on retiring at 2033, and you believe that Link's growth rate would be at 15%, then again you can look at this chart and take this model as your input. This is not financial advice. At that point, Link's price would be at 15% CAGR at around $43. Number of Link tokens needed to be a Link millionaire, 23,000. What is surprising, at 8% CAGR, 23,000 token in your kitty would make you a millionaire in 2040, but at 15% that would be realized at around 7 years earlier, that is in 2033. And if you believe that your timeline is 2040, and then the number of Link tokens needed to be a Link millionaire is at around 8,670, And again, you can easily divide it by 10. You need about 870 tokens to be a 100,000 worth in link. That is again a good 10% of your portfolio. That is, you can make your own what if analysis using these charts. So optimistic case is half of Bitcoin's CAGR at around 22%. And that again, the price action between from $14 at 22% CAGR annualized would be at around $280. $280 link. At $280 link, you'd need only a 3,500 link token to be a link millionaire, and only a little less than 360 link tokens to be 100K, to reach that 100K milestone in terms of only link in year 2040. And again, one more exercise: if you think that your year is not 2040 but 2033 or 2037 or 2035, you can look at each of the scenarios for both price as well as both the number of tokens. And you can, if you want to focus only on price, you can toggle between this, and if you want to focus only on the number of tokens, you can just toggle between these legends over here. And the key idea is that the number of tokens is always a good idea to know, but also the USD valuation. Today, a 315,000 invested in Link, or 315,000 worth of Link already in the kitty, would at 8% growth rate would make you a millionaire in 2040. This is the CAGR model, again not financial advice. And then similarly, 122,000 invested in Link today at 15% would be a million, and 50,000 at 22% is equivalent to a million. And again, this 50,000 at 22% growth rate is again a 20x from 50K to 1 million. And again, you can divide it by 10. 5,000 in Link today is 100K at 2040. So this again, now we come out of this retirement related approach. Now look at whether Link is overvalued or undervalued. This is our MVRV Z score based model. This is Chainlink's weekly price in blue or purple, and the red line is the MVRV Z score, which is a division of market value and subtracting that with the realized value, that is the traded value, and dividing that with the market value standard deviation. So this is how we get this, and the key idea is the line in zero that separates if Link is overvalued or undervalued. You can very well see that we did had a short stint when Link was slightly overvalued in March, in the week of March 4, when the price was at around $21, but now we are back in the undervaluation territory, and the Z score right now is negative 0.42. And you can see throughout the bear market, at least when the MVRV Z score was below negative 1, that was a really good accumulation time for Link. So you can use this model for your DCA strategy, as well as also analyzing the overall valuation of a particular crypto. We do have MVRV Z score for several other cryptos. Similarly, we have crypto retirer for several other cryptos as well. We are continuously updating our website. So if you are interested in growing with us, please subscribe. So now, last but not least, is the regression bands, or these are the heat bands that we like to call. We wrap a polynomial regression function on top of the Link's price action. The price action is in white. The regression function, the line in pink, is the base or the trend line of the regression function. 3 lines above are the 3 standard deviation tops, and 3 lines below are the 3 standard deviation bottom. And if you consider, and 3 standard deviation gives you about 99% of the potential price action. But if you believe that you're fine with instead of 99%, you're fine with only 95%, you can get rid of these lower third band and upper third band, and this gives you that is 0.95, that is almost 95%, or 2 standard deviation confidence, or 2 standard deviation price action. In this scenario, you know that there are some times when the price action might fall below this, or sometimes which falls slightly expands above this, but the key idea is that those times are very short lived, and they're again really good scaling out or scaling in opportunity. So for example, over here when Link was under $2 in 2020 March, this was a good scaling in opportunity. This polynomial regression function would have flashed a buy zone over here, and over here in similarly in 2021 April would have flashed a sell zone. So where we are right now, we are really close to this potential 2 standard deviation breaking out to the downside to the potential 2 standard deviation bottoms. You can see the overall function is in an uptrend, whereas the price action is in a downtrend. So what would mean, where are those theoretical 2 standard deviation bottoms? At around $13.85 as of today, but this always keeps on changing because as the time progresses, these lines either extend to the upside or extend to the downside based on the momentum. Right now the base case or the fair value trend line for Link is at around $30. The 2 standard deviation peak is at around $66, 1 standard deviation peak at around $44. 1 standard deviation floor is at around $20, and 2 standard deviation at around $13.85. The price action is at around $14.20. So you know that this one is close to making its 2 standard deviation journey to the downside, and we'll always keep on updating these models. So if you are interested, do subscribe to the channel for being on top of these alerts, or these on top of these scenarios which play out in the crypto market. So with this, I would like to conclude this video. Hope you found this information useful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and also give this video a like, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.